All right, welcome everybody into another edition of the Bully the Board weekly show podcast, whatever we're calling this at the moment. It's your boys Seth, Steve, and Kevin. Hope you guys are enjoying the week. I'm going to give you another breakdown of how week 4 went. A little bit of an update on the future stuff, as well as a look ahead to what the model's showing for week 5, as
Yep.
well as give you some other info on how Circa's going and all that. So. We've said it multiple times, guys. One thing that you can't ever fault us for is not being transparent. And I think, unfortunately, it's another week, another losing week.
Yep.
Overall, you can see on the slide there, 10-18 record overall so far through 4 weeks of the season, but.
Yeah.
Long way to go, but I do want to get your guys' thoughts on this last week specifically. Wasn't too bad in terms of bad beats like a couple weeks ago was, but Seth, what was your if you had any high level takeaways, I guess first from last week, what were they?
Yeah. So Bills are legit. Baltimore's got a defense that is just falter. It just gives up a lot of games. So I learned two lessons from that game. Bills are legit, and Baltimore's defense is definitely on watch. Colts are definitely not who we thought they were. I mean, I guess the model thought that. I didn't think the Colts were going to have a bad season. I thought the Colts were going to have quite a good season. One of their strongest things running the ball, they can't do. I think they're dead last in DVOA.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe Pickett's the man because Trubisky was not it. And
He is not him.
he is not him or her or anybody at all. And it was pretty apparent that once they put Pickett in, man, it was like all of a sudden like a new offense. It was, not to go too extreme, but those are some lessons. And then the last lesson, I think we already knew, but another data point is Carson Wentz sucks. And it was very happy to be on the other side of betting against him and not on him.
Yeah.
And those are my big takeaways.
Well, Steve, you got to agree with that last point at least, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I don't know where the Carson Wentz hate really started, but goddamn, it feels good. Yeah, no, I agree. I think for me, the big takeaways were, Bills are for real. And we knew that game against Miami, they really could and should have won that game, and they were pretty banged up and were pretty banged up in this game, but still came through. Ravens got to figure. I mean, they're fighting on the sidelines. That thing is in turmoil. They got to figure that defense out.
Yeah.
Steelers, man. Listen, as a Bears fan, I really, really wanted Money Mitch to have a new start, have a fresh start. But yeah, listen, you can't argue with results. And yeah, Kenny Pickett gave a breath of fresh air, some sense of life. As a as a fantasy owner, though, I gotta say, I got Najee on my team, and they're stacking the box against my boy, so hope they can throw out some more. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in Pittsburgh. But for me, my big takeaway though is what the hell is up with the NFC East? Is really, I mean, you got Cowboys 3-1, Cooper Rush, 4-0 as a starter. You got the Eagles 4-0 overall. They're looking like the team to beat. Not just in the East, but in the NFC and maybe in the entire NFL. So, kind of cool to see there. And I don't really know what to make of the Broncos and Panthers, good games, bad games, good games. So, more of the chaos.
Yeah. Yes. So speaking of the model picks specifically here, you see we went 2-4 in week 4. So going into it, Seth, in terms of ones you felt great about, ones you felt terrible about, how did the week shake out and match your expectations on that front?
Yeah, so this is the first week where we both, me and Steve, both love the Cowboys. I remember I was reluctant to say it because we, our track record. So not surprising. Again, betting against Carson and really good defense, good rush defense. Pressuring Carson ends in usually bad times for whoever team is being led by Carson Wentz. I don't think either of us liked the Steelers. I know I didn't, and that came to fruition. Although we had a chance to cover or to push in that game,
yeah.
so
we had a chance to cover and then a chance to push, and then we lost outright.
yeah. We've been there before, haven't we? The Bills one was a great game to watch. That was the marquee matchup we had identified, and it was the gift that gave giving. One of the other things that I didn't say that I lessened is, I guess, I'd never obviously had the chance to see Baker outside of the Browns, and I really thought Baker was at least a mediocre quarterback. But on the Panthers, it's pretty clear that he struggles, and he needs a lot of talent around him. And but even with Christian McCaffrey and these other parts, he still struggles. So I was pretty surprised. I really thought that they would be able to handle the Cardinals. What about you? I mean, I know you were traveling, Kevin, but anything that you saw in week 4 that surprised you?
Yeah, so I was basically checking score updates on the ESPN app and whatnot. Yeah, because I was on the go coming back from Chicago that day, and yeah, I mean high level. I think going back and forth, seeing the back and forth rather of the Bills and Ravens game was quite fascinating and interesting to see. I mean, I think they continue to find multiple ways to win, and the fact that through the first basically quarter of the season, everyone's darling to win the Super Bowl, Buffalo Bills, seem to be up to snuff. So I wasn't. I knew Josh Allen was really good and everything. That's no surprise, but rarely do you see for long too many teams sort of meet those type of lofty expectations. But I think
maybe even exceed them. Right. I mean, they had a lot of hype, and I could argue maybe they're exceeding expectation right now.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I think that's been an interesting storyline to develop. So and the other thing, one other for me takeaway is going into the season. So similar to you, Seth, I was not super confident in the Colts futures that we have of under 10. I think
under 10. Yeah.
But yeah, Matty Ice is I don't even know what a new nickname for him is, but he's just it's not working out for him, and they're just not running the ball well. It's kind of crazy to see with Jonathan Taylor, especially back there. It's just not working out. So
Matty needs ice, I guess.
Matty I like it. Matty needs ice, man. Yeah. So yeah, beyond that, again, just because I didn't get a chance to be dialed in too much this week, I would say from afar, that's what I was keying in. So, but on that note, there is a maybe small segue. So 2-4 last week overall from the model standpoint, but some good things and some bad things.
And we did get a live bet using the model for Philly, so we were able to get Philly minus 2.5. We had said that we needed to get that at 3. So we were able to use the model for live bets. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but one of the, we were able to eke out one other win live. If you were following us, on the lives.
Yeah. Particularly on the TikTok. So if you guys aren't,
true.
That's basically where that information is doled out in real time over the course of the week on TikToks on the live. So to Seth's points, we'll get into that a little bit more here in a bit, but again, so through week 4, here's our updates for our futures picks. Some good, some bad this week in terms of going here. So again, with another week under the belt, Steve, how are you assessing what we're seeing so far, and then where's your confidence level with these picks?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said all season long, I really love that Bengals under 10. They got a win last week, but I really don't see how they're going to hit that 10 number with the back half of their schedule coming up. So, and I do expect them to get better. I think they're not going to go 2-15 or something like that. But right. I do expect them to struggle. I'm a little nervous about the over 8.5 with Patriots, especially with Mac Jones being out. I mean, Brian Hoyer is a journeyman. He's a seasoned veteran. I think they'll definitely get some wins together, but he's out. AFC.
He's out.
That's right. No, it's Bailey Zappi. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. He went out too. Yeah, so you got Bailey Zappi. So I'm a little concerned about that. The Saints, I don't know what to think of the Saints. So we'll see about that. Under 10 in Indy, also feel very confident. And I have no faith in the Panthers. Don't get me wrong. Just 6.5 is such a low number. I see that Saints game, and I don't know, were they just a good team that week, or Saints just that bad a team? Either way, one of those things don't look well. But I think we're still on track to hit 3 out of 5. So you know what, to end out positive.
Yep. Seth, would you agree with that? Or
yeah. No, I agree with all that. I will say I have a little bit more faith in after week for with the under 6.5. I mean, sorry, Kevin, I know you're a Cardinals fan, but the Cardinals are not a good team as is right now, and
no, they're not.
They started it slow, but they handled their business quite handedly, and like we were saying before, I mean, Baker just looks uninspired. I don't really where are they going to get these wins? They got to play Tampa Bay 2 more times. They haven't even played them yet. Saints, that might be a dead bet. Unfortunately, that offense has just not materialized in the way that I think we all thought it would. And the defense has struggled more too than I think we thought it. And then, over 8.5 for the Patriots. Hey, Western Kentucky, Zappy comes in. I guess. I mean, he had the the Packers sweating there. But I think having some tape on him. New England can run the ball. They're actually quite. I think they're top 5 DVOA rush offense. But once you become one-dimensional and a rookie quarterback with one start, whoopsie daisy. You can see how in that division that's not going to go well. So. But I think 3-2 here is reasonable.
Yeah, very much so, and is very in line with I think with what not only reasonable but dare I say expected. Frankly, I mean we didn't expect.
We win at 60 and profitable.
Exactly.
That's a word that the haters are saying we shouldn't even use anymore.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's pump the brakes on that one. Calm down. Slowly.
I did remove it from the bio. That was the biggest hater request I got.
Hey, you got
reliable. So I removed the profitable from the bio. So I hope you are all happy for now. The moment we are though, woo, buddy, I'm all caps.
All caps profitable. Let's go. All right. So diving on ahead then to look ahead for week 5 here. So I think one of the things that some people might realize right off the bat is the model has way less picks than any other week so far to date. So rolling with 2 for-sure picks here, Dolphins -3.5 and Broncos -3.5. So Seth, maybe can you paint a little color as to why that is without getting overly technical?
Sure, as best I can. So there's a metric that is known as adjusted R-squared, which basically tells you how much your variables explain the outcomes. So 100% means that you have a model that 100% agrees. So our model that is, again, historically profitable, for the 1-year methodology fluctuates from anywhere in the 30s, 40s, and then sometimes as low in the 20s. Given the last, so weeks 2, 3, and 4, adding the predicting 12% to give you an idea. So significantly lower than what is normal. And basically because of that, your variance becomes higher. When your variance is higher, your prediction intervals get wider, and therefore less games get ruled in and out. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So really what we're seeing is the 4-year methodology, which is way more stable to these types of things, take precedent. And that's where we're getting the 2 picks really from.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So Steve, looking at these 4 short picks coming up here, what are your initial takeaways, and how do you see I got 2 questions. One, how do you see both of these games sort of playing out? But 2, why is the model, do you think, rolling with these specifically?
Yeah. So, the Broncos and the Colts, this is one of those things where the Broncos are not a sexy team. They lost to the Raiders, who were 0-3 at the time. And, I can get why there's a lot of hate on Denver. And this is kind of why we take a step back and look at the actual data and see what they show. When you're looking at this, the Colts are not a good team either. They had that really good victory, over KC, but you look at their DVOA, their rush offense is 32nd, and if Jonathan Taylor's out, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to move the ball at all. I mean, they're going to put the ball in the hands of Matt Ryan. Cool. He's a veteran, but that plays right into the Broncos' defensive strength. So, it just makes a lot of sense. You look at, kind of the rankings and what they've got on there, that the Broncos come out on top. The Dolphins, I get this one maybe a bit of a conceptual question mark with how good is Teddy Bridgewater actually going to be with Miami. I think we all know he lit it up with New Orleans. he's not a game manager, but he's not like a gunslinger. He's kind of some sort of hybrid, in between the two. But I mean, that's for real. He's going to have a bunch more time to actually practice with the first team offense, get those reps in, get situated with Tyreek and Jalen, and I think we're going to have a good old fashioned shootout. And I know they beat the Steelers, so I get there's a little bit of a hypocrisy here, but I still stand by my statement, man. Any remedy for a questionable or struggling or trying to get it together team, the Jets are the answer. So I think they get it back. I think Miami comes back and just absolutely destroys them, and the model agrees.
Yeah. I hear that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a very subtle, but I think important distinction that is, I guess you want to call it, new to the card that we put out every week here. So the second half of the card here, week 5, live lines to watch. And if you have been following, or if you do notice the difference, side by side, spot the difference between these two picks. We added live in there. So Seth, correct me if I'm wrong here. So all of these picks right now, Falcons plus 14, Cardinals plus 10.5, etc., are not attainable on any marketplace right now at odds minus 150 or better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I think by far, I think by a mile on in some cases.
Yes. Not as much for like the Falcons, that spreads like 8.5 and it probably won't move. But I think the Cardinals is a 5. So you're having almost double the spread.
So to your point earlier, because you said you took Eagles minus 2.5 or whatever you took them at live in game last week.
Yep.
We are not currently and have not been counting those games for which we've taken live into the model record, but there have been 3 additional picks that have been made, that have been won, that we, to Seth's point, gave out either during the week or was included in one of the cards or whatever.
Yeah, week one we did it. I think it was our first dress rehearsal, so we didn't exactly know how to go about that, but we gave out New York Giants plus 12, Kansas City minus 2.5, and I forget the other one, but Seattle.
To be fair, I think this whole year is basically a dress rehearsal of sorts.
That's completely fair. But I think that so the reason we put these 4, and maybe a better way to answer your question, Kevin, these 4 are all around 4 points away from them being obtainable with incorporating the spread. So you can see that in a game time kind of atmosphere, not too much has to happen for the live line to reflect these, and we can then get them. So like Bengals is plus 3 right now. So Lamar goes down the field, scores a touchdown. You can easily see this being at 6.5 or 7, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Chiefs, I think their spread is minus 7. What if Derek Carr bombs Devontae and they score right away? Oh my gosh, the world's ending. Grab 2.5, right? That's exactly what happened in the Jags game. And then Falcons and Cardinals are the ones that are a little bit more disturbing. Maybe not Falcons, because the spread's already 8.5. So if Tampa Bay scores, I think they'd have to score twice. I'm not exactly sure, but then the Cardinals one, I think, is the one where I'm emotionally it's like if the Eagles are winning by 10, I could just see them continuing to win by more and more and more. But nonetheless, it's using the prediction interval. So it's the same exact methodology we use to rule in the model bets. It's the same idea. It's just that in a live game lines, you can obtain different spreads that you otherwise would have to pay, minus 200, minus 300, minus 400 to get. So that's kind of the incorporation here.
Yeah, for sure. And to one point, like we'll all be watching these lines pretty closely as the games go on, but to your point about the Cardinals now and earlier, like I don't frankly feel comfortable taking them at 10.5. I mean, I think it's at 5.5 right now, maybe.
I know.
And they have not won a home game. I don't know if you know this. They have not won a home game for 9 straight home games.
Wow.
Wow, dating back to like week, I don't know, even know what it was, like week 13 or some bullshit last year. So I don't know what the hell's going on. They've been a weirdly good road team, but yeah, can't for the life of them figure out what to do at home. So, I mean, and the Eagles are legit, like we were saying earlier, man. I think you got enough games under their belt to really feel confident in saying that, and the Cardinals are far from it, man. So yeah, that one gives me the creeps a little bit too. But Steve, any thoughts on the lines to watch? Because I know Tampa Bay and Falcons would be another one for me where I'm thinking I don't want to touch that with the 10-foot pole, but if I have to, I will.
Before you go, Steve, though, but the Falcons are top 10 DVOA team right now.
I was gonna say I actually really do. I would love to take Falcons plus 14.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I would be all over that. Absolutely. So I like that. Chiefs. Chiefs they've got their swagger back. -2.5. I like that. Bengals. I give me the hook, maybe.
7.5.
I like that. And then I'm with you, Seth. The Cardinals. Ooh, man, I mean, listen, it's the NFL, right? Like these are good teams. They're all professional athletes, and it's hard to win by double digits, no matter how bad or good you may be. But clearly, it happens, right? But man, dude, I mean this is testing the limits of that theory between arguably the best team,
and my heart.
Right. But I mean, you got arguably the best team in football, if not for sure in the NFC right now. You can make an argument for it versus one of the worst. So I don't know about 10.5, but I mean, from a gut standpoint. So
no, I'm with you. And I broke these DVOAs down earlier, and to lighten the load a little bit, which is not going to do much, but the Cardinals basically struggle in almost every category except run defense. So maybe you can stop Jalen Hurts there and make him throw it all over you, and maybe that slows it down. I don't know. I'm not sure, but and to your point, Steve, we were talking about the Dolphins earlier. Teddy, Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater, started pretty much all of last season on Denver
Saints.
And
Denver before that,
and he did quite well, and his stats were. To your point, Kevin, like they win. He's won a lot in his career. And so I think,
not only has he won, he's again, for the people who like this type of stuff, he covers 75% of the time.
Yeah. I think most of those are because he wins, right? When he's underdogs and so on. But exactly, I agree.
It's funny when I saw that. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
People are going to be touting that all week long. Maybe that's why a lot of the money, actually 95% of the money specifically is on the Dolphins.
But any way you want to slice and dice this, Miami's offense is light years ahead of the Jets. So even if you say they're comparable, I mean, the Jets just cannot keep up. There's no way. If this becomes a 3-score lead, the game's basically over. Because there's no way the Jets can sling it. Now, maybe Zach Wilson has got that, extra dog after, some time, healing, but I don't know. But 10 days, he's got 10 days to prepare for this. That's the other big thing I haven't really heard. Not only did he step in and manage that game, this is now with a game plan for Teddy for 10 days. This isn't, quick turnaround. This is a veteran that knows how to win, knows how to cover, was already part of the offense, but now is going to get first team reps with some pretty big weapons. I really love this pick. I really do. The Broncos one scares the shit out of me because this is basically like two dying horses. It just feels that way. These teams they're just not sexy. They're anemic on offense. They just can't do anything. But the Dolphins, man, maybe this is a hot take. I think Teddy, there's no difference between Teddy and Tua.
Ooh,
not significant. Not significant. I'm not going for say he should never start, but I'm just saying I don't see a drop off here. What can Tua do that Teddy can't, except throw left?
So I haven't checked up on this, so maybe you guys would know off the top of your head. But does Tua, do they do a lot of read options, or does he run the ball a lot?
No, not that I know of.
So he doesn't have that element.
I mean, I don't think any more so than you expect from an NFL quarterback these days. Sure. A la your typical somewhat mobile, pretty much like anyone except Tom Brady, right? Somewhat mobile quarterback. Yeah, I mean, to your point, it's tough because I look at Denver and how much of that was just the system game plan. Okay, we have a good defense. We're gonna have a slower kind of offense, but I mean Teddy has an arm. I think he has a better downfield accuracy than Tua does. I think Tua gets the tag as I don't say I'm calling him a gunslinger per se, but Tua's definitely not the game manager kind of guy. Like he's the one that's going to try to get that home run out of you. So there's a little more excitement around Tua. But I agree. I think Teddy is more than competent backup, and arguably, I think he's the best backup in the league, and I think he's better than some starting quarterbacks. So yeah, I agree with you, Seth. Definitely not a drop off. I think a different style of play more than anything else, but definitely not a drop off.
And another rule of 10 here: tens are hot. They're paying him $10 million to be a backup. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
right.
Wow.
So I mean, I mean, I don't remember if they traded for him or if he was a free agent, but yeah, I know they paid him $10 million to come to.
Is he making more? Is he making more than Tua?
He might be. Honestly, because Tua's on his rookie.
Right, yeah.
I doubt it's guaranteed money, but and I'm sure it's packed with incentives. But he's probably going to be realizing some of those incentives now that he's going to start.
Yeah.
So
I know.
that's something we should probably look into. How much is he going to get paid if he wins this game? Because that's in his contract.
True. Yeah. So Tua has an average annual salary about $7.5 million.
So there you go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Teddy Two Gloves get a nice $500K check if he wins this. Hey man, people want to talk to me about incentives and things like that. You never know what these kids are playing or these men are playing for. That's a hell of a payday. I mean, obviously I just made that up, so I don't know, but I saw that Jimmy G had that in his contract, so I would be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah.
So on the Broncos thing for a minute, do you guys have any thoughts as to why Wilson looks painstakingly pedestrian in there versus how he looked in Seattle?
You can't just it's new offense, it's new everything. It's a new offense for him, and it's a new coaching staff. So this isn't him coming into an established thing and it's like, this is what we're doing, here's the plan, you get up to speed, and he goes, all right.
So let me back up a sec then. So was your opinion of him maybe not that high when he was in Seattle then?
No. I'm just saying it's him coming into a new, everything is new. There's a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. So the whole organization is new. So it's not only him getting up to speed.
But juxtapose that against some other greats who've won Super Bowls. Tom Brady obviously is a shining.
But when have we seen that? When have we seen a quarterback?
Is an older example.
But he didn't go to a new regime. He came to something that was already established. So they're doing things their way with it.
So I see what you mean by new coaching staff. So not only new to him, but new to the team the same year.
Yeah. They both came there at the same time. So there's no establishment of anything, right? All the team is getting to know the new system, and Russell Wilson's getting to know that and the new players and the new system. That I think is unreasonable to come in and be like, all right, we're just letting Russ cook, whatever that even means, right?
Yeah.
That's my answer to the question. What about you, Steve?
I think it's all that. I think you have something where, you need that time to get the timing down in that rapport with your receiver core. And I don't think Hack is doing him any favors. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to play the blame game, but Hackett has not been making very sound decisions, for the first quarter of the NFL. So I think you got a new system, you got an inexperienced, staff with each other, and that's just how it goes. And so I think he'll figure it out as time goes on. I think he'll get better, but I mean, Jerry Jeudy has not been doing much in terms of, what his expected output would be. Cortland Sutton is, okay. I think he's probably Russ's favorite target so far, but it's just the chemistry's not there.
And then they lose, their running back. Right?
Now Javonte Williams is out, and what they're gonna do with that? Yeah. So I mean, I'm not worried about Russ. I think he'll figure it out. I think the expectations were, I mean, Russ has been in Seattle for how many years, right? With the same coach. To your point, same coach, same structure. Your role, you can operate more comfortably within that. And then Denver, it's like, all right, I guess we'll just figure it out on the fly.
You got no choice, right?
Yeah. And speaking of that, you had in Seattle, you had fuck it. Lock is down there somewhere. DK's down there somewhere, right? I don't think you really have that.
Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, don't run the ball. And I guess let's be fair. If we're gonna apply the logic, let's be consistent with applying the logic. We think we've been on the wrong end of some bad beats. They're literally 2 inches away from scoring 2 touchdowns against Seattle. There's another win. This team is 3-1. So this all of a sudden not working. We wouldn't. That's not a narrative for a 3-1 team. Now, are they? You could say maybe that you would think there's offense would be more potent, but you'd basically be saying, but they're finding ways to win. They're figuring it out, and we're going to see them get better and better and better, right? Yep. So, it is all it takes is just one little thing to go one way or the other, and then all of a sudden the narrative is just a little different.
It's a game of inches, right?
Yeah, quite literally.
What's that old saying? You are what your record says you are.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and at 2-2 with struggling Raiders, and Kansas City just looks damn good, man. They just look. Yeah. Sure. Ever since that Thursday night game, unfortunately for us, they seem to have really, really, really turned it on.
For sure, yeah. I think one other point for me on this Broncos matchup, Broncos and Colts matchup is, yes, we know that the Colts are also sort of underperforming relative to at least our internal expectations. Maybe not the public's per se, but.
They were favored. They were favored to win the AFC South. So I mean that.
Yeah, there you go. Are they? They can't still be. Who is favored? The Jags.
I'd have to look at that. I don't know. Maybe
it's got to be pretty. It's got to be a tight race.
While you go, I'll look it up.
All right. But the fact that this game opened at 3, and it hasn't moved. I mean, I think the marketplace is kind of maybe waiting to see how the public feels, and the public appears to be relatively indecisive too. I mean, it's pretty split in terms of money distribution at the moment. But for the Broncos at home to only get the 3, I think is a metaphorical slap in the face. I think so. I think they've just underperformed, and I think that's kind of evident with how. With how a lot of the lines are being set for this game. So it'll be interesting. I think this is going to be one of those Thursday night games where, historically it's like, oh, there's always bad matchups and it's always shit games. And, we never get any good Thursday night games. This might be one of those that fit that bill perfectly.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think the other thing not moving the lines right now is the injury questions on both sides. So Russ with a shoulder and then Taylor with, high ankle sprain. Yeah. So, which I don't. If Russ is out, by the record, if Russ doesn't start, then it won't be a model pick. All indications are that he will start. Taylor seems to be a little bit more of a question, especially when you're the 32nd run offense. Like, do you even want to start? You're just going to get hurt off a short week. So, but okay, I got the line. So yeah, Jags are favored at plus 155. And then Tennessee and Indy are tied at plus 200. And then Houston Texans plus 4,100.
So shout out Texans.
Take a flyer. That tie could really come into
right. So this will be okay. So we don't have a little slider graphic on it as well, but just wanted to also give an update on the circus stuff that we're doing too. So as you can imagine, I think we said at the start, and we'll continue to say we're picking the circa plays with the model as well, so we're not deviating from that. So, Steve, what do we go? We went 2 and 3. Is that right?
So start back up. We are overall 7, 12, and 1. So we actually end up winning. Yeah. So we last week we had Bills -3, Steelers -3. Cowboys -3, Panthers -1.5, and Broncos plus 2.5 there. So, we end up pushing on the Bills, and then we got no, because the Steelers lost outright.
We pushed on Bills.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, so kind of looking at where we're at right now. So again, overall we're 7, 12, and 1. We're tied at 4,130th place. Now, I will say, listen, if you've been following us for a while, you know me. I always say a little bit of shit talk's a little healthy. So give credit where credit's due. We're 10-18. We're getting this thing together. We know the model's going to come in. But the model's losing. There's no ifs or buts about that. And we're not hiding from that. But for all the trolls out there saying, "Oh, your model sucks," you're never going to be this and that. Well, we can't be that bad because Circa has a first quarter prize for first through last place, and first place right now is the two people tied at 18-1. 18-1-1, excuse me. 18-1-1, yeah. So they split 100. Well, they each get 105,000. But last place is 2-18, and they won $25,000. So our model's not good being that bad because shit, we would have been 25K richer. But c'est la vie. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now, and then we'll continue to show you guys our picks and let you know how that journey's going.
And this week will be the first week where we have to basically gut check or pick some plays from how we feel emotionally, just kind of straight handicap what we think is going to happen.
Back to our roots.
Yeah,
degenerate roots.
OG DJ ways, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so, I was just going to say, can I throw in a thought here? Because I get a lot of feedback. Well, you got to narrow the card down. You got to use your your handicapping skills and narrow the card down. This is us attempting to do that, and the record is even worse than the model. So just say that because it's very difficult. Again, I'll always preach is the model can see matchups that we emotionally struggle to see, and even in a losing season, we have seen that week in and week out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll have an update this time next week at the very latest for what we chose, why we chose it, and how it did. So yeah, it'll be curious. It'll be curious to see. But I know you guys are going out of town doing some travels this week. So the fact that there's technically only one game on Sunday for the model, maybe 2 or 3 more that we could get live. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Not too much to worry about, especially for you, Seth. So,
no, we'll be sweating. No, because we'll be. So yeah, we'll be in. Seth and I will be.
We'll be.
Yeah, Seth and I we're traveling down to Baton Rouge and catch the LSU Tennessee game.
Yeah,
and then we'll be in New Orleans on Sunday. So we're gonna catch the Saints Seahawks games, and by the time that game's done, I'm sure we'll be at a bar watching the game somewhere else. So we'll be sweating it no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are you going to that game or just the Saints game too?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I mean, that's the plan. We might be passed out on Bourbon Street, but we've got tickets. Put it that way. We got tickets, and if we go or not, it's TBD.
Yeah. Right. If the Broncos don't cover, then I might not even go.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, at this time next week, you'll at least see Steve and I. Seth is to be determined. But
fair.
Yeah, man. All right, Steve. Any last thoughts before we let the people go?
I mean, my last thought would be, for those who are, still watching and still kind of riding along with us, as on this journey where we're trying to figure these things out and, do what we love and make money with our friends and have a good time and all that. You're the real ones. We appreciate you. We're making all these bets too. So, we have a 10-18 reflective bank account when it comes to betting all these. So we don't like losing anymore. Do you like losing? But we really appreciate the support and just kind of watching us, on this journey. Statistically speaking, we will bounce back. Week to week, it remains to be seen on how that looks on a weekly basis. But I really appreciate you guys. And for those who are again talking that healthy amount of shit, keep it coming.
Hey, amen.
Seth?
Yeah, I just echo the same. Thanks for the support, for the people that are supporting, all the haters. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Steve. Like, even if you think we suck, we're due. We're period. We can't say this bad, but apparently we can, because if 2-18 is as bad as it can get, then maybe we have some wind to fall. But I'm really hoping that this is the bottom of the model right here. Week 5, we start to see teams start to play like their DVOAs reflect, and that will then start the kind of upward momentum of the adjusted R squares going back up, the volume going back up, and then hopefully then the win rate continuing to increase. So, I mean, hopefully we're just kind of at the bottom now, and we move forward.
Exactly. Yeah. Lowest adjusted R squared we've ever seen. So
yeah, 12%.
Hopefully, like you said, hopefully we're at the bottom.
Can I just say real quick, like this is so on par with being a fucking millennial. Like I am so tired of living through historical events in my life, and I would count this as a historical event. This is the lowest this Miles ever been in history. Just another, historical event to live through. But yeah,
story of your life, huh? Fucking millennials.
I love it. Well, don't tell that to the haters because they knew it from the beginning, apparently.
All right, boys. Yeah, everyone, appreciate you guys watching. Until next week, we'll see you.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah.